John Less here, Less Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. Today I've got a new broadhead to test. I always love it when new broadheads come out. This is a new one by Exact Archery. I'd never even heard of them until a few viewers started asking me, hey, have you tested these? Have you seen these? And they certainly looked intriguing. So I reached out to them and they sent me a pack. And they sure do look cool. So I'm eager to put them to the test. So in just a minute, we'll go through a close-up view and go through some of the design features and specifications. And then I'll test it using my protocol for 2023. And for a detailed description of that, please check out the video that I did earlier this year explaining, it's called the 2023 Broadhead Test Process. And I'll explain why I do what I do, and because I get questions all the time. Why do you use steel plate? Why do you use, gel? We don't hunt concrete, okay? I hear all that. I know all that. I'm a bow hunter first and foremost, but please check that out and it'll explain a lot of why I do what I do. I just want to provide data points from very consistent testing that you can use to help determine which broadhead is best for your hunting needs and your personal setup. Okay, so let's zoom on in here, check this out. Oh, and I'm going to be using my Bowtech CP28 set at 72 pounds. I'm using Bishop FOC King arrows for most of the shots and Bishop Fat Eliminators for the shots into the concrete because they can handle it like no other arrow that I've tested here. All right, let's zoom on in here and check out this Exact Archery broadhead. Here's a good look at the Exact Archery broadhead here. This is a 4-blade, as you can tell. This is the 100-grain model. Now, I will note that just for a few bucks, you can pick up some of these little washers and they just slide onto the back right there. They take up, they don't make it any longer. They don't take up any of the threading because that little slot, if you can see that slot, it just slides over the blades and that will make it 125 grains. So you have the same basic broadhead in 100 grains or 125 grains. It does add a little bit of a lip that's going to have a little bit of resistance to some mediums as it impacts, but not very much. So it's nice that you have some modularity there between the 100 and the 125 grain. Okay, some of the features besides that, it's all steel. It's made out of all the ferrule. The blades are all 316 stainless steel. And like I said, there are 4 blades. Each of the blades are 0.040 inches thick. So some of the thicker blades on the market for a replaceable blade broadhead. The cutting diameter in each direction is 1 1/8 inches. So the total cut is 2 1/4 inches. That's no slouch, okay? It's like a Slick Trick Magnum. But again, you'll notice that there's no tip other than this blade, okay? That's just it's a true cut on contact tip right there. Then you notice it's got an extremely short overall profile. By my measurements, it's like, what would it come out to? Like 0.85 inches long. So that's the exposed portion beyond the end of the arrow. So that's one of the shortest broadheads that I know of. And yet you're getting a decent sized cut. So I would imagine it's gonna minimize surface area. It's going to maximize flight forgiveness and maximize penetration. I wonder a little bit about the durability in a hard impact with this cut on contact blade, without a chisel tip, but we'll see. I think the ferrule will probably be pretty durable because it's so short, but we'll have to see how all that pans out. So, the blades are replaceable. It's a not very expensive broadhead, but seems really well constructed. Really eager to see how it performs. Oh, and for resharpening, this will work perfectly with the Stay Sharp guide for replaceable blade broadheads. It'll just make quick work of resharpening this Exact Archery head. It took 200 grams of force to cut through the copolymer wire, which is a 10 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated 9 inches. It took an extra 75 grams of force to cut through the wire, which is an 8.5 on a 10-point scale. It penetrated through 64 layers. It's in excellent condition after going through the MDF 3 times. And check out these holes in the steel plate. Man, these are really nice holes. They're like square chunks. If you compare it to these other holes that were made by a Broadhead I tested right before this, you can really see the difference, both 4-blade, but man, what a difference in the wound channel it opens up. And the head is in just fantastic shape. There's a little tiny chip that was taken off the very tip. You can't even make it out in this picture, but that was just really minor, otherwise in excellent shape. So here it is after all the durability tests, and man, I did not expect it to hold together as well as it did through the MDF 3 times, the steel plate 2 times, and then into the concrete. Man, it stuck so deeply into the concrete. I mean, two of the blades, I mean, were almost completely into the concrete. Now, it's short overall, but really impressed with that penetration in the concrete as well as the durability. I mean, it has a little bit of a wobble to it, just slightly from one of the blades. I mean, it's ever so slightly bent a little bit. The tip got a little bit dinged up there in the concrete, but really impressive durability for this type of design. So what'd you think? What? Man, this thing really surprised me and impressed me. When I first saw it, okay, I'm looking at the price point, $7 a head, and I'm thinking, okay, I've seen designs like this. The blades are probably going to separate on hard impact. Maybe they're going to break. Maybe they're going to roll over. I was wrong. Really impressive in every area. I mean, it flew super well. It penetrated really well in every medium. Held together well, MDF, the steel plate, buried into the concrete. Wow. And this is just the 100-grain version. You know, you add that extra washer down there at the bottom, that collar to get it up to 125. It might do even more, but really impressed with this Broadhead. And here's the thing, you got to check out the score sheet, okay? And the total cumulative score is coming up, but it got 10 golden arrows, all right? There are not many heads that get 10 golden arrows, but this one did, and at $7 a pop. Man, that's really impressive. So, hey, Exact Archery, man, you're doing something right. Welcome to the ball game. Okay, I look forward to seeing more stuff that you come out with in the future. So again, check out the score sheet and see how it performed in the areas that matter to you the most, and see if it might be a good fit for you.